Okay. And then what do I do? Go back to the other one?
Yeah, you just go to my my personal one here, and
then go live. Hit when you go on that.
Yeah, so we're live. I'm going to click share here. So if you go to my page now.
I'm on your page now.
Cool. So you should see our thing here. I'm just going to share it real quick on my professional page, and then we'll go. Silence my phone here. All right. You find it okay, man? All right, for those of you guys who are just hopping on right now, we're just getting everything set up. Chad's in the process of sharing this onto his page, so his viewers can watch it as well. Can you hear me, Chad? Got a nice pretty picture of you. So for those of you guys who are watching right now, we may have to restart this video if we have some technical difficulties. But I want to hey, there you are.
Okay.
Can you hear me all right?
I think I did it right.
Okay. Well, people are hopping on. We got about a dozen people watching now, and I love chatting with you, man. And for those of you guys who don't know Chad's kind of a badass. He's been playing drums for a long time. He's played for a lot of people that you've probably heard of, and probably some that you haven't. But he's probably best known for being 2 platinum records now with Breaking Benjamin, right?
Yeah.
And then Black Label Society, Scott Stapp, and you're currently playing with Black Star Riders, formerly known as Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
So you've played with some powerful bands, man.
Yeah, and then I'm actually heading out tomorrow to York, PA, and we're shooting a video, 3 videos for a band called Weapons of Anew. I just did their record, and now I'm playing with them too as well. And my band Walking with Lions. Yeah. So I'm staying pretty busy.
Yeah, you are, man. And you know, this which is like blows my mind because it's we're like everybody's like this whole quarantine situation. Right. So many musicians are like, I mean, gosh, I don't know how they're doing it because they're traveling as their livelihood. And it seems like for you, it's been the opposite. It seems like you've just really grown your music business and your drumming.
Yeah, I mean, I thank God every day because for me, who's really not too technical savvy on Pro Tools and Logic and all that kind of stuff, I finally said, you know what? My real good bro, Volley, who has a studio in Long Island, he helped me kind of put it together when we were doing some Walking with Lions stuff a year ago. And he let me borrow his board, gave me the board, and then we got mics. Trying to get a mic deal right now and set up a studio, started learning how to do Logic. And what's cool about technology these days is he can share everything on my screen on my MacBook, and he can actually control my session, listen to it, make changes to it, listen to the drum tracks like he's still there. Wow. So it's like doing a session in a studio. I mean, you know, and being unfortunate of this quarantine thing, but it's actually worked out for my benefit because having a studio now in my basement, I've been constantly being called to do records or a song or quarantine jam or this or that. So I'm really super blessed to be able to still somewhat work.
Yeah. I imagine you're probably itching to get out in front of a crowd, huh?
Nothing beats, you know, feeding off, you know, people's love and passion for music. It's not the same being in a basement with 4 walls blocking it, but music's music. You know, if you can have a catalog when, you know, when it's my time to go, I'll have a long, hopefully, legacy of music that people can listen to for, you know, days and days and years and
Yeah,
centuries, you know.
that's awesome, man. Well, one reason I like talking to you is you've achieved a level of success in your industry that very few people do. A platinum records, being able to tour the world, that's something that musicians, everybody wants, and very few people get. I mean, and you started in a factory, just working in a factory and playing music on a weekend. So tell me about that. How did you go from playing in a factory and doing these weekend shows? Talk a little bit about that, because that's really cool, to get the gig with Breaking Benjamin, because that's really when you broke through, isn't it?
I've had a very up and down roller coaster career. Because like one day you're awesome, the next day, okay, you're down there. And you know, all the sacrifices that I've given and just try to hone in my craft to be the best that I possibly could, and still to this day trying to improve and be better and be more efficient in my playing. The saying is, you know, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And, trying to learn all just different things about drumming, not just drumming, like how many licks can I play, but understanding music in general and appreciating everybody's craft and not stepping on it. And all the years of just doing it, you know, I was with this band called Switch, and we were signed. And I was working in a factory at that time, and I was making springs, and I was using filters, and I fell asleep one time, and my hand got caught in the machine. And I was like, and it was, and my hand was in. The people are coming. They're like, no, not your hand. I'm like, no, my hand. No, I don't want my hand to go. These are my livelihood. And
that leopard drummer, man.
yeah, so that was one incident, and then we got signed, and then we toured off and on for like 2-3 years, writing records and, you know, traveling the country. And then the band fell apart. I kind of left and went back to a factory. So after seeing that success, I wouldn't consider it like super success, but enough to be proud of what the sacrifices I made to have those accomplishments. Then I go back to the factory and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm here on a line working for someone when I played in front of 50 to 60,000 people on Ozfest. You know, like, it's definitely humbling. So I was doing that. I got a gig, a guy named Bob Gatewood in the Calabash band, and they would play at Put in Bay. And he came to my church that I was practicing at, and he was like, hey, here's the deal. All I want you to do is just play me a groove. And I said, what, for my audition? He's like, yeah. So he came to my church, listened to me play a beat. He goes, all right, you got the gig. Obviously, you can play. And I was like, well, that was the easiest audition I've ever done. So I was like, it must be because I'm in my church. I got good God juice on me right now. So I learned, I think, 40 or 50 songs, and I had a week to learn it. And I get on stage and I go, Bob, where's the set list? Now, mind you, Put in Bay is like an island on Lake Erie, and you have to take a ferry there and a ferry back, obviously, and it's just a strip of bars. In the daytime, it's gorgeous. It's a family event. At nighttime, the devil even runs from it. It's like debauchery at its finest, right? So all the bands play there in the summer, and then they're shut down in the winter time. But there's people that do live on this island all year long. And I was playing in front of 1,000 people. First show was grand opening, called the Roundhouse Bar. And I get on stage and I go, where's the set list? He goes, oh, I don't have set lists. I go, huh? I don't know what song we're doing. He's like, I just call them off. I'm like, dude, there's 1,000 people here. I don't know what to play, you know? And he would do like this. And I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, that's an Elvis ending. And I'm like, oh, Okay, thanks for the heads up. He would have been a terrible baseball coach to tell me to steal home, right? And so
So you were playing in factories during the week, and you were taking
working
a
in
ferry on
factories, yeah,
weekends to
yeah,
do this.
working in. So I was working 12 hours a day, and then taking a ferry Friday after work and going and playing, I think 2 shows, which was 8 hours a day. So 16 hours I was playing on the weekend. You would do a day show for 4 hours, a night show for 4 hours. Obviously, the night shows were better. Um, but yeah, I was doing that for months. And, I missed being the rock star phase. And I was going through depression a lot. And, you know, a lot of stuff was talking to me. And like, I don't want to get like, sell your soul to the devil per se, but it was definitely influencing me to give something. And I just was like, no, I'm not about that. I'm a Christian. I'll wait. I'll be patient. It'll happen again. And I would just hear, man, just give it to me, bro. I'll make all your dreams come true. And I was like, whatever. Like, this is in my head. I'm going nuts. Well, I get a call from my previous guitar player from a band called Switch that I was in, and we kind of had a fallout. And then we made up, and he called me and he said, hey man, we're looking for a drummer. We're talking about doing this video, and we're going to do it for MTV, blah blah blah. We want you to do it. Come and hear the song, blah blah blah. So I go there, and really wasn't an audition. I already had the opportunity to do it, and there was a song called I Do It for the Devil. And I went, yeah, I can't do this. And they were kind of like nonchalantly laughing, but they like, we know you're going to say this. We knew you're going to say this, but because you're a Christian, but it's not what you think. It's nothing like that. And I said, bro, I'm sorry, but I just can't associate myself with that. The Lord gave me a blessing to do good and to do positive things for the world. And I just didn't feel that was the right way to go. So I wouldn't sell my soul. And 2 weeks later, I get Breaking Benjamin.
Wow. So you held out, man.
Yeah, I mean, when I tell people patience is the most important thing in life, it's the most important virtue, because when you rush into something, it's not always going to be the best strategy.
Yeah.
If you take your time and just stay patient and stay alert, things fall in play. It's like finding a girl. Anytime you're like, man, I'm going to go out to the bars tonight, I'm going to find my wife. Probably ain't going to happen. But you run and you headbutt her in the hallway at work. You fall in love.
Yeah.
It's those.
That's one thing I know that where I'm always impressed with the people you played with, because you played with some of the best in the world. But I'm even more impressed by the people you've said no to just because of your values, your principles, your faith. I mean, you said no to some big names because it didn't line up with you, and I admire that. And my question for you is, you're sober. I mean, sober from alcohol, sober from drugs, and you're also a man of very strong faith, obviously. And you're in an industry that is just the exact opposite. I mean, people who are drinking, doing heavy drugs, people who are unfaithful to their spouses, and you're playing events called Hellfest, and there's a lot of just real darkness in your industry. And
especially not to interrupt you when your Wi-Fi password is 666, by the way.
Yeah. And I know when I think back to like when I've done the dumbest things in my life, when I've made the biggest mistakes and I've hurt myself or other people the most, I'm usually around other people who are also being stupid and also like that. And how do you stay on that straight and narrow where you're able to maintain that faith, maintain that sobriety, and keep doing what you're doing in that industry?
Well, great question. It's the only thing I can say is I just pray every day, or at least try to make it a day of just being thankful for what I have. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I'm human, whether I'm Christian or not, we all make mistakes. We fall short from the glory of God. And, you got to be thankful for what you have, but you always want more. And I think it's an acceptance thing. Like people think, well, because I'm not on MTV and I don't have 5,000 subscribers and 20 million followers on Instagram, that I'm not famous. Famous is only what you make of famous. Famous is if you're content with yourself and you feel like you've done something, you're famous. Being on MTV I'm not taking it for granted, but it doesn't make me who I am. I believe in myself. I believe in what I was created to do. And regardless of MTV or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any of that crap that has to make me validate that I'm popular to tell me how good I am on my instrument. I play for one person, and that's the king upstairs. And I'm not talking about Elvis.
Well, you've played with everybody. And I remember, doing lessons with you at one point, and you had gone from playing with guys like Breaking Benjamin, Black Label Society. You left those. You ended up playing with Stapp. That didn't end up working. And there was a time there when pretty much all your opportunities disappeared, and you were back playing in bars again. And what was it like to lose all that, go back to the beginning, and then again kind of hit the level you're at now with Black Star Riders and just sort of achieving that level of success a second time?
Yeah, I think in the Bible, if people do read the Bible watching this, that there's many stories of good people in the Bible, and they felt like they were cursed, like boils, and he was giving up his son, for God's sake, to sacrifice to the man above. And it was just a test. And I look at it as, yeah, I've had some up and down roller coasters, but it has made me such a stronger person in my faith and as a human being, and kind of seeing a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing. Don't throw pearls to swine is really a food for thought message in the Bible. If people don't believe in the Bible, just understand, he already said that before you don't believe in it. Don't throw your pearls to swine. Meaning, you're not going to change everybody. You're not going to save somebody and bring them to Christ. That's the Lord's vision. He uses you as a person of faith and walk in faith and talk in faith in things you don't want to do. If everything was such a perfect world, we'd be with all Christians. I'd be in a Christian band, right? You'd be adjusting Christians' people's spines, but it's not what we're designed for. Jesus hung out with robbers and bad people. Why? Because they're the ones that needed to be led to the light. And I feel like playing in bars, there's a lot of depression. There's a lot of animosity. There's a lot of hate. And so playing in bars is no different than playing in an arena. Where God tells me to work, I work. No questions asked. Does it suck? Yeah, it sucks. But so did dying on a cross, as the way you and I believe, is imagine that.
Yeah.
You live this much time on earth and then goodbye. And it's not like, a slow, it's slow and painful death to die for each and everybody's sin, for all the corruption we've done over time. So playing in a bar and doing God's work ain't that bad.
Yeah. Well, it's been really cool to kind of witness that, man, because, just knowing you, I've gotten to watch you change, see that, see you become humble, just see your faith strengthen. And it's been really cool. It's been a real honor to be able to witness that. I mean that. And, I admire you for that and for being able to go back down like that, maintain that faith, be humble, and and continue, because I know you had opportunities to take big gigs that just weren't in line with your values, and you still held out, waited until you had something good, and now you've got something great, and you're still creating, you're still doing more.
Still don't feel that I've even had my calling yet. It's all
awesome.
about patience. You know, people say I'm one of the most underrated drummers. That's someone's opinion. You know, I'm definitely blessed and pretty proud of where I came from and where I am now. And I'm still trying to find the vision of what he has greater for me. And
Yeah.
I think same thing goes with you. I mean, I'm watching you become this drummer to now focus completely on helping others with their spine and adjusting them and doing the things that you have done. You know, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Um, you know, it's, you know, a person of Christ, you can sit at a table if you enjoy the same meal.
Yeah.
If everyone likes steak or pizza, we can all enjoy a dinner together. But sometimes there's people like me that like tacos and everyone else is eating seafood. It kind of creeps me out to smell fish while I'm eating beef. Even though it's from the meat group, it still bothers me. So I try to eat as quick and get out. So to have people that are on the same page that we are, we can share those testimonies, we can share those journeys, and we can still build each other up when we fall. And I think that's the beauty of watching you is like you've gone through some heartache, you know, lost parents, and you never resented God. You know, it was a hard battle, and you know that there's a purpose for everything. There's God's will and God's way. And there's things that we don't like, and there's things that we don't understand. But the older we get, the more wise we start to put the pieces, the puzzle together, and we're like, okay, I see the bigger picture. It's not about suffering. It's not about watching people destroy this country. It's about listening to people's words, you know, and actions. And, you know, watching people protest is a very powerful thing, but also destroying is taken away from a protest of innocent people that are standing up for a thing that we all feel, you know, rightly deserves for those people that they got dealt the wrong card. But, you know, they're not resenting God and going, why God, why'd you do this to this person? There are bad people out there. And my mom always brought me up the right way. And my dad saying, don't hate the person, hate the sin.
Yeah.
And that is a powerful message because we're all people. We do everything in the flesh. But the sin is what makes us turn to stone. We're still people. We still hurt. We still cry. We still bleed the same color. So to me, there's no color barrier. You know, I cut you open, you cut me open, I cut up Bob Marley. We all bleed red. Yeah. And that should tell us something. Color has nothing to do with it. It's the intent of how people do things is the actions. And that's why actions speak louder than words. You can say all you want to say, but you got to do it.
Yeah. I love it, man. And yeah. And, you know, it's the same in my office too, man. You know, we x-ray well, in my office in Dominican Republic, we used to x-ray, you know, our patients before they'd start care, and spines look the same, man. Doesn't matter what's on the outside. Spines look the same. So.
And you didn't go to the Dominican Republic and go, oh, I can't go there. There's no white people. You know, you've never been like that. I've never been like that. There's bad blacks, there's bad whites, there's bad everything. So to me, all lives matter. Everybody means something to me. I don't care color. I don't care religion. I don't even care politics. I still love you individually and equally, as Jesus would do. You know, Jesus wasn't an ugly person. Jesus wasn't an angry person. Only time he was angry is when he flipped up the table, when he was preaching the word and they were, you know, gambling and all this crap. And he said, "You will not do this in God's house."
Yeah. Yeah.
Or in
And
my
right now,
father's.
yeah, right now there's so much, gosh, there's so much going on, so much chaos, so much darkness, and it's easy to get so caught up in that darkness.
And I don't
And
cry much, dude, but it's almost brought me to tears to just know that our country, the greatest place that anyone could live in, we're destroying. And
yeah,
we're coming from out of a world crisis, literally, and a world crisis, and then now this. And
yeah,
I'll tell you, the flames that they're setting ain't killing coronavirus.
yeah. Well, and we have a choice now. You know, we have a choice in how we act. I mean, there's a lot that we can't control right now. You know, but there
And
is.
love is the most important thing, as you've been brought up and as I've been brought up, that love will overcome everything. If we can all hold each other's hand and walk through that fire together, we'll be more powerful than we ever have been. But when we segregate and this and that, we can't have that extra oomph in our battle. So
Right.
we need a team. You only win Super Bowls with a team, not a quarterback, with
Yeah.
a team. You make it with a band, with a team, not just a lead singer, with a team.
Yeah,
You know,
and we can't. And we have to remember we can't control what other people do, but we can control what we do. We can control how we love others. We can control how we care for others. We can control how we
yeah.
respect others. And that's what I'm. That's my focus right now. Is how can I be a beacon of light to the people around me? You know, I know
And
there's a lot of
you've
opinions, a
always
lot of.
had. You've
Huh?
always have. You've been a light for me. You know, as I've been a light lantern for you. You know, my heart goes out to the Floyds,
Yeah,
everybody, and all their friends and family. It was a tragedy to see that, especially after the pandemic, when we haven't even been outside for a long time, and now chaos happens. It's like, should we still be on lockdown? Are
yeah,
we animals? Can we function in society, or did this lockdown keep us alive? You know,
yeah.
so
There's a lot of opinions on that too, and I mean, I think you know where I stand on that. I'm not a fan of these lockdowns.
here's the
I,
worst trait to have.
yeah,
If you fear something, it will attack you from the inside and out, as stress will do. Um, and to kind of tie this in together with you being a chiropractor, an A plus chiropractor,
well, thank
um,
you.
you know, I was always wary about chiropractors, as I've said in previous interviews, and I've had some really bad adjustments, like dizziness for 2, 3 days, even a week, because they adjusted my neck wrong. But they didn't have the passion. They didn't care. They just wanted to make a quick $50 to $80 adjusting a rock star. Well, bragging rights doesn't work when you hurt the rock star, you know. But to see you grow from graduating to being a teacher at these camps that you put on, these retreats, as you put God in those retreats, as well as all the other chiropractors, um, and to see that is all from the heart, and all the knowledge and all the sacrifices you put in is helping people. I help through music, you help with your hands in a different way, and it's the same thing. We're still trying to heal what we were blessed to do on earth. Um, and again, it comes out of love. You could have the worst day of your life, but you still got to love that person that you're adjusting. I mean, my life is in your hands, and you
Yeah,
got to trust. You got to trust with everything. You know, tying
yeah,
up your neck, you know, all you're doing is hurting yourself. Then you're going to blame the chiropractor because he didn't adjust you properly. But if you don't give yourself to that person and say, you know what, I'm going to be loosey goosey. Here we go. Boom, cracked. You're like, oh, yeah. I mean, it is a drug of mine. I mean, it kicks in your endorphins, and I'm like, do it again. Do it again.
yeah. Well, yeah, when it comes to choosing a chiropractor, yeah, I mean, well, and when it comes to choosing anything, you've got to be selective. You got to do your homework. You got to make sure you're picking a quality person, because just because someone has any letters after their name, it does not mean they're good at what they do. And so finding someone with a good reputation, someone who is good at what they do, who can really help you, is important. You need to, because the person who has final say and what kind of care you get is you. You know, you need to do your homework, make sure you pick somebody good. And one thing I always tell people, if they're looking for a chiropractor, send me a message with your zip code. I will find someone for you. That's something I do for free if they're not close enough to see me.
I'm living proof. You did that for my mom. You've done that for me. I could be in El Paso in a hospital with chickens roaming around, and you're like, I'll find you someone.
Yeah, I always tell you, man, when you're on tour, like, send me your tour dates. Like, I'll get to work now.
Adjusted me over the telephone.
Yeah. So there's a lot that we can do. But you know, one thing that I love to share with people is really how you and I originally connected. Because originally it wasn't doctor patient. It was drum teacher, drum student. Because back in the day, I was an up and coming drummer. All I wanted to do was be a professional drummer. I was going to college as pretty much a fallback if drumming didn't work out. And you were my favorite drummer. And I reached out on no, you were, man. I mean, first time I heard you, you were great. And I remember sending you a message just like, hey, will you give me lessons? And you were just like, yeah. And like at the time you were playing in Breaking Benjamin and Black Label Society, and a lot of drummers, like, you know, who are professional, they give lessons when they're off tour, just because they have to make ends meet. And you didn't have to, you know, and you didn't have a heck of a lot of time. But you know, what is it that makes you just want to pour into up and coming drummers and young people, and are you giving lessons right now?
Yes, I am giving lessons. I do $30 a half hour and $60 an hour, and people are like, "Wow, that's cheap."
That's horrible.
But you got to look at it like this. Yeah, I mean, am I at the caliber where I could charge $120 an hour? Absolutely. But that's not what I was designed to do. And I feel that, and it's taken nothing from any other teachers because they're all great and they charge what they want. I just feel that it's abusing the privilege to teach, where I rather have more students and be able to make a living than have 2 students and charge 120. I love to teach. I love it because I love seeing somebody from the ground up get a confidence like they've never had, show them a system and give them this. I mean, I'm not Jimmy Swaggart. I'm not, you know, anything like that, but I like to have faith in my lessons. I like to tell people, you can do this. You just got to believe in God. God will take care of you. You were designed to be a drummer, or you were designed to be a drummer for this amount of period, and it's going to teach you give you another journey. But drumming's going to be the plateau of what's going to catapult you to the next level. And I've seen, you know, I've had some really great students that one is about to graduate Berkeley.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And a guy named Dan Watts, who studied with me for over a decade, and watching him play Breaking Benjamin songs and kind of struggling at first, and now playing Tool songs, where it's like, oh, sorry, Dan, my stuff ain't hard enough anymore. I get it, you know, but it's such a great thing to see these people. And you also have to understand that when they get that good, do you let them go, or do you be greedy and go, I still want to make money off of them, so I'm going to show them some? No, I want them to, I work for them.
Yeah.
And when they're really willing to work with me on things, I'll teach whenever. If they don't, no harm, no foul. Go find another teacher. Learn from other things. I don't have all the answers. And I think that's what's great. Like as a teacher, I don't want to teach you how to play like me. Even though you might like my drumming, I get that because I like Stuart Copeland, Tony Williams, and the list goes on. Greg Bizinez, Zoltan Janey, everybody I can learn something from. But I feel that you got to be yourself.
Yeah.
And as a student, as a teacher, I want them to have their own voice. I can teach them the things I've learned, but I also want them to make it themselves. And the most important thing to me is groove and feel. And once you have that, then the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. But if you have a feel of a burnt victim, as my boy Robbie has said, then it's hard to do anything else.
Yeah.
You know, feel is everything. You can make people have so much emotion through lyrics and melody as you can do with drumming and guitar and bass and other instruments. You just got to be so passionate in something that you believe in, that you want to do, and not for the Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know if people want to do lessons with you, is email the best way to get to you?
Yeah, they can email me, hit me up on all my social media. I believe it's underneath.
Cool. Yeah, I just threw your email up so people can see it.
Like the weather, Doppler. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A little NASDAQ ticker we got at the bottom. Yeah, well, man, I appreciate you doing this. It's always good to catch up with you, see your face, man. I mean, it's a bummer that yeah, dude, it's a bummer you're not on the road, because I always love coming out and hanging with you, and have to come out and see you sometime.
It'll happen again, brother. I mean, thank God for technology that we can still talk. I mean, back in the day, imagine sending postcards. That's our
Yeah. Yeah, technology has kind of brought the world a little closer together in spite of everything. So this is great. But man, I appreciate you doing this, and I'll give you a last word. Anything you want people to know? Anything? What's on your heart, man?
I just say, find faith, find love, leave hate, and leave ugliness, and just come together as a team. And let's stop these violent crimes that are happening in the world. And look at 9/11. There was no black, there was no white, there was no color at that time. We all helped each other. And if I see a black person falling, old, young, doesn't matter, I pick him up as he would pick me up. And that's what we need to do in these protests, is have your voice be heard, but do it calmly and collectively, not by bricks and, looting and destroying property, because one day that will come back to haunt you.
Well, man, this has been good. And hope to do this again soon, man. And looking forward to seeing you on the road. And you just put a single out with Black Star Riders. What's it called?
Oh,
So if you Google Black Star Riders, a song should come up and people can listen to it, right?
Hold on, it's something candidate.
Okay. Is it off your Another State of Grace record?
Yeah.
Okay, so people can check out the Black Star Riders, Another State of Grace.
That's what happens when you don't tour for months.
Oh man, I won't show this to Ricky. So.
Oh yeah, speaking of Ricky, he's going to be performing on stageit.com. STAGEIT.com. He's doing a show June 6th. If you go to his Instagram, Ricky Warwick.
Awesome.
He's going to be doing a show for, I think, $5. He did one already and it was sold out. I think it's sold out on this one, but go and support him. He's doing amazing things while we're quarantined as well. And
he's a great player and a great dude, quality guy. It was cool meeting him at the last couple shows. So, well, dude, I appreciate you doing this.
Hold on. I got to find this song, Casey. Hold on.
So Chad put out a single. He's looking up the name of it. Tell you what, man, I will let me find it out and leave it in the comments, and people can look it up.
That will take Candidate for a Heartbreak. I knew it was Candidate.
All right, Candidate for a Heartbreak, for people who want to hear the new single. And dude, this is good. Look forward to chatting with you soon.
All right. I'm glad I don't know my own stuff, but that's good. I'm at that age. I'm allowed to have those little handicaps.
So, all right, man.
All right. God bless. Thanks so much, bro.